But that's not the only thing that happened this weekend. Aside from the Capcom Cup draw stream, we also, of course, had the Evo Awards that same weekend. That was Saturday. So we were in Burbank already for the Capcom Cup draw stream, and Evo Awards was happening in LA. So both Rob and I were asked to participate in it. And aside from that, both Rob and I were nominated for awards. So the Evo Awards, I was kind of unsure how this would go. I'm not a big fan of things like Grammys or Oscars or celebrity award shows to begin with. And it kind of felt like this was going to be along that same line, this self-congratulatory, like pat in the back, everyone huffing their own farts sort of event. And I was like, I don't know, do we need this? You know, I had very mixed feelings going into it, to be quite honest. But I was like, let's give it a shot. Let's go in with a good spirit. Let's have some fun with it. Let's see how it goes. And I think it kind of struck the right vibe, right? They had Hayao there. He was nominated for about 15 awards and won all of them. And I think he made the show. Him drop kicking after winning Moment of the Year. So this was not the only moment he did that. He hit some splits. He had amazing speeches. His acceptance speeches were actually incredible, and he had to do it 4 times, and they all hit. So Hayao was sick. He was awesome. One of the best parts of the whole night. And overall, I thought it was a pretty good time. Got to see a lot of the members of the FGC dressed up. They honored some amazing people. They inducted Tokido, Alex Vai, and John Choi into the Evo Hall of Fame. So it was all good stuff. And like I mentioned before, I was also nominated as well for some awards. I was Trash Talk, the podcast, was nominated specifically for Content of the Year. And I was also nominated overall for Best Content Creator. But besides that, I also had to present an award. So I had to figure out what the hell I'm going to wear, man, because I have not been out of my cave or forced to dress up since COVID, essentially. It's been 5 years. My body weight is always fluctuating. I always grow in and out of my clothes. I had nothing. I had one dress shirt in my closet, and if I were to like bend down to tie my shoes, I would probably rip open around like the lat chest area. It'd probably just break up right open. So I was like, okay, we got to do something. So the night before I flew out, my fiance and I went to Zara and bought some random clothes. I just had to make sure that like I took all the tags off. I had to double check for that to make sure nothing was on there. Put something together, and then got out there. And then they had me presenting the commentator duo of the year.
The award for best on-air duo, and to do that, we have somebody who loves to talk as much trash as I do, and as much as Harada likes slideshows. Please welcome.
You can see already. See, this is the thing with the Evo Awards. Shout outs to the writers. They did a great job overall. But a lot of the moments were like, they're scrounging for material. And I think what worked for the show, which I think is what made it better in my mind, is that we were leaning into that the writing was a little corny. So Obama's like, what the fuck is this shit, as he's reading it. Right? Like, what is this joke even? Because first of all, the trash talk thing, that is a reference to the Trash Talk podcast, but I don't talk trash myself, right? So it doesn't really represent me. Then there's like the cut to like the Harada with the slideshows, and I have nothing to do with Harada or anything, so like Obama being like, what the fuck am I reading while we're reading it is pretty good. And I think that's what saved the award show, was Obama being great at writing that line of like, yeah, I'm here to be paid to read the script, but while I read the script, I'm going to clown on the script a little bit. I think that's what actually saved it, because it could not be serious. So the script itself was a little cheesy, a little corny, which I think also opened up that door to allow you to like play with it a bit. And I think that saved the whole vibe. Because if it wasn't like that, if it was like, yeah, we got to stick to the script and like pretend to be genuine the whole time and not acknowledge that we're reading teleprompters, it wouldn't work. Yeah, Obama killed it.
Brian F.
He was great at this. There I am walking up, trying to not shit my pants. I don't know, I felt that ghost kitchen food poisoning kicking in. No, I don't want to listen to myself. I can watch my own YouTube videos back, but watching myself do public speaking, I cannot do. I looked at this clip on mute. I can't, you guys can listen to it another time. So what I'm doing here is I'm reading a teleprompter. The thing about this script is like, they make you make jokes that you wouldn't make. I kept having to make jokes about Steve ripping people's arms off.
Trying to not have your partner rip your arm off.
And it's like, I would never say that. Like I had to figure out a way to get through it. yeah, they're making Steve my arm jokes left and right. So that part is like super inauthentic, and I'm trying to not just totally be staring at the teleprompter the whole time, because they have a giant teleprompter in the back, and I didn't know, we don't know where the camera is as well, and I'm trying to like at least look at the crowd. So I think I did an okay job. We did one rehearsal going through it, but the jokes were endearing in a cringe way. Right. Like I said, the script they wrote wasn't bad in that sense. I think it was endearing and cringe. It's a good way to put it, which allowed us to play with it. Did you not know what the teleprompter was going to say beforehand? I should have. They did send me my script in the email, but I did not see it. The day before flying out, I was like, wait, there's a script. So they go through the nominees. And then this part was like, I was like, oh, this is omega cringe. So I saw it.
All right, I'm told I have to give the following disclaimer. None of Steve's commentating partners were harmed in the making of that video.
I would never make that joke. It's not that funny. In fact, it's not funny at all. You know what I mean? I think it worked. But at this point, when I saw the script, I was like, I have no fight in me to like what would I suggest that would make this better? I had no fight in me in this. I was like, no matter what I'm supposed to say, it's gonna feel embarrassing. So I might as well just power through it and get it done. And then this was the hard part.
Worried, but they made it out okay. So all right, the winner of the best on-air duo is, wait, hold on. I can't do this alone, man. I need a partner here. Obama?
This whole segment was in the script to make Obama do that. And I was like, this is gonna suck. I was like, this is gonna, I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense for the award. It's the commentary duo. And I'm like, why would you make me present the commentary duo? Like, me and Rob do a duo thing. But I am not like a personable person. I'm kind of the grump. You know what I mean? Like you were putting two grumps with each other. Me and Obama are both like the grumps a little bit. So like Rob doing this would make sense.
Well, they wrote in the teleprompter, so I can't say no.
They said we have to do this.
So, but this is where it actually became good, because it finally crossed the cringe threshold. You see? It crossed the cringe threshold where we could say fuck the script and just make fun of it. At this point, what the script said was, hold on, this feels wrong to do alone. Obama, you got me? Obama's line, I got you. And the winner is, you think it was going to go down that way? Obama just like, Brian F., I got you. You know, there was no chance. There was zero chance that was gonna work. Obama got to acknowledge the script, and we both. This is where it unlocked the potential.
Obama?
Well, they wrote in the teleprompter, so I can't say no.
They said we have to do this. It's in the contract. All right, man. You ready for this?
Just don't make eye contact. Don't make it any weirder than it has to be.
If I knew the script, I would make eye contact the whole time. All right. The winner for best on-air duo is IFC Yipes and Sajam.
And then he made me duo myself right there. But that part, the rest, we freestyled the rest of it. So like that worked so much better. It worked so, I was like, thank you, Obama, for acknowledging the cringe overload. The cringe tension built up and then it broke. And I was like, okay, this is way better. It's way better when the script is cringe enough for us to like hit that threshold and then break free. Do you get what I'm saying? So I think it actually worked in the end, where we're kept in the rails a little bit, but it hits that point where we can finally go, fuck this, and just kind of play around it. So I think that worked out really well. It instantly came off more natural because it was natural. That was the only unscripted part. I mean, the interaction was prompted. That was scripted, but the lines were unscripted. We were both begrudgingly getting through something together. So that worked out really well. So, you know, Yipes and Sajam took that one. That was my only presentation for the evening, so I think it went okay. Even though my intro had nothing to do with me, I did feel like my intro, unfortunately, I feel like they just knew I had a trash talk podcast, and that was it. They didn't know anything about me, because none of the jokes were about me at all. But it was okay. I think it went okay. I think I did my part of the show, moved on, happy with it. Got to mingle with everybody else. Things were amiss. Even leading up to this, there was a dress rehearsal to get through this event. When we did the dress rehearsal, they also laid out the tables in the front section. So the crowd cam is very dark, but they have 2 rows of tables with 4 seats each, and then it's the rest of the rows of chairs behind it. They start laying out the names where people are assigned seats. As they lay out the names, I'm looking for my name. I'm like, okay, there's Rob, there's Punk, there's Vi, here's the Ipes. Okay. And then they put out some names that I don't even recognize. They're putting out many names. And then eventually they put out all of the names. And my name isn't there. So I'm like, oh, okay. I guess, Brian F. didn't make the cut for a table in the front row. It's all good. Let me just figure out where my seat is supposed to be assigned in the rows of chairs. It's all good. And then, Sherry's also looking, and she asked the coordinator, oh, where's my seat supposed to be? And then they find Sherry's name and put her in her seat. And then I go, oh, okay. So am I on that list as well? And they're like, oh, what's your name? And I was like, oh, Brian F. They're like, Brian F? Brian F? What's your gamer name? And I'm like, oh, Brian F. I wasn't even on the damn list for a seat. I was like, I'm in the event. I present something. I'm nominated for 2 awards. And then I was like, okay, well, I could foresee my odds of winning an award were tanking in front of my eyes right there. They weren't trying to spoil it for us in the dress rehearsal, but I started in real time to be like, yeah, pieces aren't adding up right now. So that was one of the first things foreshadowing this. Then, as I did the presentation, I felt like my intro also was like kind of foreshadowing what's going on. I was nominated, though, for Trash Talk for Content of the Year, and they did use in the nomination a nice clip of me with Meta RD doing Trash Talk, a nice moment from that podcast. And then it came time for, towards the end, Content Creator of the Year. And for this award, as they go through the nominations, they show a clip for every person. And I thought to myself, what will they choose for my body of work in 2024 to represent Brian F. for Content Creator of the Year? And I thought, man, there's so many options. It could be one of my Capcom Pro Tour recaps, where I highlight the community efforts that go into these major tournaments, highlight all the storylines, the lore, the plays, the gameplay analysis, the history between the players. Maybe it's something from like the Sajam Slam, where I put the team on my back, clutched up. There was a lot of camaraderie between all the players, and I got the job done. Maybe it was one of my highly edited and produced technical videos, talking about things like Ed's Level 2, some gameplay tutorials, things of that nature. So many great things that I'm proud of that I produced this year. So, what did they choose to represent on the Evo main channel at the Evo Awards for Brian F's content in 2024? Finally, I did it. Exactly that sequence. Charge heavy punch, back heavy punch like Gladius, into this thingamajig. Watch this. Oh my god. Finally, I'll watch this where I don't die at the end. A clip from my Clips channel that I posted 2 weeks ago of me playing Marissa. So, kind of a funny moment, but when I watched that, I was like, I'm not winning this. And to me, I was a little bit like, I feel like I was kind of misrepresented a little bit. Yeah, I was a little bit like, there was 10,000 people watching that stream. Many of them might not know anything about me. And they might think I'm a diamond level Marissa player, and that's all I do is play Marissa in ranked. You get what I'm saying? I was like, I put out a lot of high value stuff that I think speaks across the entire FGC, the entire genre, because I'm able to pull together these storylines and tell the stories of the players. And this stuff reaches beyond just the core FGC. And that was like my second channel, that was like the slop mobile. That was just like, I just felt like someone put that together who they got a list of names and they had to grab something real quick. And I was a little disappointed with that. But of course, Sajam ended up taking both Content of the Year with the Sajam Slam and Content Creator of the Year. Very deserved for all that. Like, I didn't expect necessarily to win. I would have hoped, I guess, to have had at least like the moment representative of what I would be proud of. Like, I would have loved a clip from one of these videos where I'm talking about all this and like highlighting some knowledge, just something that would have, spoken to what I contribute, I think, and what I'm most proud of. But, at the end of the day, Sajam sweep, of course. I mean, he did his thing, took all the awards, of course. And the great thing about it was I got to sit next to Sajam the whole night. Content of the year. Oh, Sajam. Great one, Sajam Slam. Love it. That's a great one. You did. Oh, content creator of the year, Sajam. You did it. Oh, a couple more in there. And he's like, oh, sorry, is this seat between us taken? Can I just I can't, all these awards, I can't hold them. Can I just, oh, yo, bro, go ahead. I'll scoot over. Here, go ahead and fill this seat here with all your, please, dude. Yeah, you don't want to accidentally drop all of your awards. I'm, if you can't tell, there's my arm featured right here in this photo while Sajam reaps the awards and while Evo plays a clip of me badly playing Marissa for 10,000 viewers at home. But at the end of the day, I was happy to be part of the event, and I took that as motivation to keep going, right? Evo Awards were fun, didn't take home anything, but was happy to be a small part of it. More motivation to be undeniable and telling the stories of the scene and connecting people to fighting games. So the way I look at it is, I'm a little tight about how I was represented on that platform. The only thing that I can do about it is to do better and do more, right? That's the takeaway I always have in these moments, right? If you're in any pursuit, like in content creation and even as a player, players talk about how they don't necessarily get the same opportunities, or people don't respect their skill, or like in conversation of who's the best top 5 NA, who's the best top 10 players this year, or whatever. In those moments where you feel like you get slighted, or you feel like you don't get the respect you want on your name, the only thing you can do to make that a reality is to keep going and become undeniable. You reach that point, and then people cannot deny your success in that domain, or they cannot deny but acknowledge what you have created or what you have become, right? So I took that as motivation on that front, and I will continue to give my best efforts to keep improving and to try to, do what I can do to tell the stories and lift up the fighting game community. And that's it. That's the Evo Awards. That was a Capcom Cup group draw stream. It was a good time, and it was really fun to see everybody. And that's all I got here.